If you're hitting the road for Thanksgiving this week, you might tune up your car with a fresh oil change.
And you expect to get what you pay for, of course, when you go into the shop. But KXAN investigator Brian Collister found out that does not always happen here in Central Texas, Brian.
That's right. You know, this is synthetic oil. It lasts longer and it costs 3 to 4 times as much as just good old-fashioned, regular, conventional oil. Now, you can tell by just looking that you really can't tell them apart. That's why we went undercover in this hidden camera investigation, thanks to a mechanic who showed us that you don't always get the oil that you pay for. This is indisputable evidence by a lab that shows that instead of synthetic, you gave us cheap conventional oil every single time, 6 times.
Like I said, I have no comment.
It's a ripoff.
Terry Withrow used to work here at this oil shop called True Balance in Round Rock for 4 months.
They're telling you it's Castro or Mobil 1, and it's not. It's cheap oil.
And why are they doing that?
It's money, profit, all for profit.
He says he took this picture of the high-priced Mobil 1 synthetic oil jugs that you see when you walk into the shop. But what customers don't see is this picture. He says it shows a True Balance employee filling those same jugs with cheap, regular oil.
Trying to tell them they're selling Dom Perignon, and they're handing them a Miller Lite with Dom Perignon sticker on it. They're refilling a full synthetic jug with regular oil.
Hey man, you want to change real quick?
So we sent our producer in undercover to get his car's oil changed.
Yeah, I want to get the best you got.
Synthetics start off at $89.99. You okay with that? Synthetic in that place.
Okay.
We did the Mobil 1 530 synthetic for you. After tax, $95.19.
After the oil change, it's time to pull a sample of the oil True Balance put in our test car. Off to the lab. At Alcor Petro Lab, technicians run the sample through scientific tests that will tell us what kind of oil we got. This is what Mobil 1 looks like. The blue line shows its chemical makeup, not even close to the red line showing the oil True Balance sold us. This isn't the only True Balance. It's a chain. We also go undercover and take samples at the other shops. In Elgin, off North Lamar, and here at West Slaughter and First Street in South Austin, where this mechanic named Jimmy changes our oil, not just once, but on 2 separate visits.
Full synthetic?
Excuse me?
Full synthetic? What's that?
Full synthetic. Oh.
Is that the best you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both times, Jimmy tells us we're getting top dollar synthetic oil.
Not a single sample you sent us performed in the manner that we would expect for the synthetic oils that were claimed on the invoice.
Did you ever raise this concern to them, and if so, what did they say?
Oh, we're only doing this for a little while. You know, just a little longer. We're just starting up. We're fixing to go legit. Brandon Harris used to call it a lick. You know, he's making a lick. That's like street code for ripping them off.
Brandon Harris is the owner of True Balance. Terry says he tells employees to do this. Hi, are you Brandon?
How are you? How you doing?
Good. Brian Collister with KXAN. I caught up with Harris at the West Slaughter shop to ask what I thought was a pretty simple question for him to answer. What kind of oil do you put in these cars?
What kind of oil we put in these cars? We use oil, the Mobil 1 vendor give us at the shop. How can I help you?
Would that Mobil 1 that you put in the cars be synthetic?
I don't understand.
To help him understand, I showed him our lab results. We've been to all 4 of your locations here. In fact, we've been to 2 of them twice.
Okay.
And you sold us premium, high-grade, high-dollar synthetic oil. We had it sent to a lab in Dallas, and you gave us the cheap conventional oil. You didn't give us what we paid for.
That shouldn't be right. We should have gave you the premium synthetic oil.
Why would that happen?
I don't know. I mean, we should have gave you premium synthetic oil. If you got what you order, that's what we give customers. I don't know what the problem is.
Is that what you give customers? We've talked to a former employee who says you do this to all your customers.
No, we do not.
That this is just a way for you to pocket more profit.
No, that's not. It's not how we run business here, sir.
He says he'll have to talk to his employees. That's when we see the guy who changed our oil. We paid you for synthetic oil twice, but we sent the oil to a lab in Dallas, and you gave us cheap oil, not synthetic. You did that. You filled it up. We have you on camera. What would you like to say about that?
Nothing.
Jimmy has no explanation. Jimmy, can we talk to you about why you gave us that regular oil, Jimmy? And eventually locks himself inside this bathroom to get away from our camera. As for the former True Balance mechanic who exposed all of this oil mess,
I feel really bad for the customer, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I had to quit.
You expect to get what you pay for when you go in for car maintenance. Tonight on KXAN News at 6, investigator Brian Collister uncovered what was secretly happening at a local chain of oil shops. And if you think about how many times we get our oil changed, Brian, this really could add up.
that's right, because a lot of cars these days use this kind of oil. It's synthetic oil, and an oil change can be about $100. Compare that to regular oil, which can run about $20 for an oil change. So we decided to test oil. We picked several oil shops at random, and this is what we found. The last time we were here, we were sold Mobil 1 synthetic oil, but we went and we had it tested at a lab, and we didn't get Mobil 1 synthetic. Can we talk to you about that? The owner of Lakeway Quick Lube didn't want to talk when I showed up to ask her about the oil her mechanics put in our cars. Can we just talk to you about why we didn't get the oil that we paid for?
I'm not sure.
On 2 different visits, we paid for high-grade synthetic oil. We took samples of the oil and sent them to Alcor Petrolab. The blue line shows what premium synthetic oil looks like. Not even close to the red line showing the oil the Lakeway shop sold us.
Neither of those samples performed well in any of the tests that we looked at when you compare that to known samples of synthetic oil, what was claimed on the invoice.
Can we leave these test results with you? Let me just show you what we did real quick. We came in here.
I needed you to leave, please. You have to talk to my husband. I don't know what's going on.
But you're the owner and the manager. It appears that we bought something, but you didn't give it to us. You gave us the conventional oil. The shop's lawyer says its bulk oil will likely test differently than the individual bottled product. Our lab expert says the chemical makeup is the same either way. During our hidden camera investigation, we went undercover to 10 oil change shops across Central Texas, including Brad's Oil in San Marcos, Coleman's at the Y in Oak Hill, and Jiffy Lube on North Lamar near the UT campus. We also tested this Quick Car in North Austin near the Arboretum and Express Oil Change in Cedar Park. We paid for synthetic oil at each, and that's exactly what we got.
You caught them essentially telling the truth.
Our investigation started because of a tip about a chain called True Balance Express.
It's a ripoff.
After this former employee told us he took these photos showing mechanics filling jugs labeled synthetic with cheap conventional oil.
They're doing their oil changes, but they're telling you it's Castro or Mobil 1, and it's not. It's cheap oil.
And why are they doing that?
It's money, profit, all for profit.
Hey man, you want to change real quick?
So we sent our producer undercover to get oil changes at all 4 True Balance shops in Round Rock, Elgin, North Lamar, and in South Austin off West Slaughter.
Yeah, I want to get the best you got.
Start off at $89.99.
Not a single sample you sent us performed in the manner that we would expect for the synthetic oils that were claimed on the invoice.
Hi, you Brandon? I caught up with the owner of True Balance, Brandon Harris, at the West Slaughter shop and read him the lab results. 6 lab tests, all showing that we paid for synthetic but got cheap conventional oil at your shops. How can you dispute that?
I'm not disputing anything. I'm telling you what we do to our customers. But they order synthetic oil, we give them synthetic oil.
But that's not what you did to us 6 times. And this former employee says it's Harris who instructs his mechanics to use the cheap oil.
I don't understand. This has come out of nowhere. I haven't got no customer complaint from nobody.
Well, how is a customer supposed to be able to tell when you don't give them synthetic oil? We had to pay hundreds of dollars to get lab tests done to prove it. Maybe that's the reason you do it, because nobody can tell.
I have no other comment.
Now, there is a way to protect yourself. You can actually bring oil that you purchase to an oil change shop and they'll put that in for you. Or if they have this product, it's called Royal Purple. And as you can see, It is purple, so you can check your dipstick and make sure you got the oil you paid for. And also, because of our investigation, the Lakeway shop now tells us, Shannon, that it's going to warn customers that it believes that the oil it gets from its supplier in bulk in these huge drums is different than the oil that they give customers in bottles.
Well, it's good to see you found a lot of shops who are doing it right.
That's right, but we're not done yet. We've tested 5 more shops in the Central Texas area. We're going to reveal those results coming up Wednesday on KXAN News at 10. The last time we were here, we were sold Mobil 1 synthetic oil, but we went and we had it tested at a lab, and we didn't get Mobil 1 synthetic. Can we talk to you about that?
This week, we have put oil change shops across Central Texas to the test and found you are not always getting what you pay for. While some shops are making a secret switch, overcharging you for the oil they're putting in your car, we found plenty of others are trustworthy. But is one of those your shop? Our Brian Collister checked out 6 more locations in this ongoing investigation.
Yeah, can we get an oil change real quick?
Our investigation started because of a tip about a chain called True Balance Express.
It's a ripoff.
After this former employee told us he took these photos showing mechanics filling jugs labeled synthetic with conventional oil instead.
We did the Mobil 1 530 synthetic for you after tax $95.19.
We sent our producer undercover to get oil changes at all 4 of the chain's locations. Sent the samples to a lab and found True Balance is indeed charging you top dollar for the cheap stuff. Hi, you Brandon?
How are you? How you doing?
Good. Brian Collister with KXAN. We asked the owner about those results. Why would that happen?
I don't know. I mean, we should have gave you premium synthetic oil if you had what you ordered. That's what we give for customers. I don't know what the problem is.
The problem also popped up at Lakeway Quick Lube. It appears that we bought something, but you didn't give it to us. You gave us the conventional oil.
You need synthetic or conventional oil? Yeah, what is the best you have? Mobil 1? Yeah, I'll do Mobil 1. Okay.
5 other shops in our first round of oil changes passed the test.
You caught them essentially telling the truth.
It's going to be $500.
So we went undercover to 5 more oil shops. All of them passed with flying colors, each giving us the high-grade, high-dollar synthetic oil that we paid for. They include Georgetown Oil Exchange, Pecan Lube in Pflugerville, Fast Lube in Manor, Lube Pit Stop in Austin on South Lamar, and Good to Go on 290 in Dripping Springs.
Here at Good to Go, customers come first. But we'll never try to give you anything you don't need, and we'll never try to do you wrong.
The best advice is to find a mechanic you know at a shop you trust. Also, you can buy your own oil and take it to an oil change shop. They'll just charge you the labor to put it in. That way you know you've gotten what you paid for. Brian Collister, KXAN Investigates.
We put oil change shops across Central Texas to the test and found you are not always getting what you pay for. Our hidden camera investigation last month revealed some shops making a secret switch and overcharging you for the oil they're putting in your car. Now our Brian Collister goes undercover again and finds those shops making big changes since our story first aired.
Well, so it's 91.3, sir.
That was the main game. Sell, sell, sell.
Rashad Luster says managers at this True Balance Express in Round Rock pushed him and other mechanics to sell high-dollar synthetic oil. But he says something didn't seem right with the oil they put into customers' cars.
My suspicion was when one of my upper-ups kept telling me he wouldn't put that in his car. And I was like, well, why wouldn't he put that in his car, but we're putting it in everybody else's?
Luster says managers told him it was a blend, part synthetic, part regular oil.
How can you put the same cheap oil in a synthetic engine and it run the same? And then that's how I figured it out. And then when I saw the test on TV, I was like, oh yeah.
What he saw on TV was our KXAN investigation confirming his suspicions with True Balance, where he no longer works, saying he left because he didn't like the service customers got.
It's a ripoff.
Another former employee says he quit his job after taking this picture, which he says shows a mechanic filling a jug labeled synthetic with cheaper conventional oil.
Trying to tell them they're selling Dom Perignon, and they're handing them a Miller Lite with Dom Perignon sticker on it.
Hey man, hey, your oil change real quick.
We went undercover at all 4 of this chain's locations and sent the samples to Alcor Petro's lab. The blue line shows what high-dollar synthetic Mobil 1 looks like. Not even close to the red line showing the oil we got. Hi, you Brandon?
How are you? How you doing?
Good. Brian Collister with KXAN. Something True Balance's owner denied knowing. In each and every case where a customer asks for synthetic and you give them the cheap oil, you pocket a lot of profit.
I don't understand. This has come out of nowhere. I haven't got no customer complaint from nobody.
Well, how is a customer supposed to be able to tell when you don't give them synthetic oil? We had to pay hundreds of dollars to get lab tests done to prove it. Maybe that's the reason you do it, because nobody can tell.
I have no other comment.
We recently went undercover again to True Balance in Round Rock and the chain's West Slaughter location. Now things are very different. The employee who gave us conventional oil last time went out of his way this time to show us we'd get what we paid for this visit.
That's what you'll be receiving.
That sounds great.
All right.
We also went back undercover to Lakeway Quick Lube, where weeks earlier, this was the response we got after testing the oil they put in our car. It appears that we bought something, but you didn't give it to us. You gave us the conventional oil. But this time,
Y'all have any of the synthetics?
Yeah.
Mobile One?
Yes.
Lakeway Quick Lube explained the oil we'd be getting before putting it in.
We only use bottled synthetic oil here, so there is more of an upcharge than maybe down in Austin would be. It's $89, I believe, for your car.
Oh, okay.
We sent these 3 new samples of oil to the lab, and the test proved this time the shops gave us the high-grade, high-dollar synthetic oil we paid for. Since testing oil is expensive, there's an easier way to make sure you get what you pay for. Buy your own oil, bring it to an oil change shop, they'll just charge you the labor to put it in. Brian Collister, KXAN Investigates.